So I'm Sharon DeCaro. You may not know who I am, but I'm the founder of AI Brand Boost and See and Make Design. So what I do is I use AI for branding and marketing, and I also do LinkedIn strategy. So if you got a banner that is blank, and I see it on LinkedIn, I'm gonna tag you. Because it's really not the best. Even if you're not looking for a job, if it's like, that's your calling card. And I see so many blank banners. So because I'm also a designer and I do LinkedIn strategy, I can design your banner and I can optimize your LinkedIn profile and get it where it should be. So connect with me here, connect with me on LinkedIn, DM me, and talk to me afterwards. I'm happy to share any information. So thanks for coming, and now I'm gonna talk a little bit about the meetup. We go from 6:30 to 7 networking, 7 to 8-ish is the speaker's presentation, and then we have some Q&A, and we are sponsored by the lovely and wonderful Capital Factory. Give it a hand. Give it a hand. And are you sure this is working? What? No wonder. Duh. I'm just not good with the mic. So, and nobody can probably hear me. So the Capital Factory is our sponsor, and if you want to check out their website, go to Capital Factory. And what else? If you parked in the building, I have $8 parking vouchers, so hit me up afterwards. And we've got to be out of this room by 8:30, and I have to leave it in exactly the way it is because they have an event tomorrow morning. So now I'm going to talk about Andrew. I think I covered everything. And of course, we're having technical difficulties today. Okay, there we go. And I want to, again, thank the Capital Factory. So tonight's speaker is Andrew Lane. In this live session, Andrew's going to show you how to go beyond basic prompts and start using ChatGPT like a creative assistant. You'll learn how to build a full visual identity system, mood boards, mockups, branded elements, and a repeatable process you can use again and again. This is the exact 15-step process he uses to build brands for clients using ChatGPT, Canva, and Google Slides. And I lost my train. And no Photoshop needed, no expensive tools. Andrew is the founder of Design Hacker and a creative strategist with 15 years of experience, helping entrepreneurs turn their ideas into standout brands. He's known for blending AI, design, and marketing into practical systems that save time and scale impact. Andrew is also a veteran brand builder and AI content strategist for an advanced workshop on pushing the boundaries of AI-assisted marketing. Andrew has built a multi-million-dollar digital product business while helping thousands of entrepreneurs build their own profitable online brands. So, and then what you'll learn is, I gotta move this. What you'll learn is how to train ChatGPT to think like your brand, why one-shot prompts fail, and how to layer instead the 6 core, does it say 6 core or 5 core? 5 core visual elements you need in every brand, how to generate mood boards, how to mock up, and you know what? I'm just gonna let him get into it because the time is going by. So thank you, Andrew. Welcome. Oh.
Awesome. All right, can you hear me okay? All right, let's just get into some good stuff today. Got a lot to share and happy to be here. Congrats, Sharon, on 2 years of doing this. I think I met you at a meetup we were doing for AI like 3 years ago or whatever. Yeah. Wow. So good times. I've got a lot of training. I'm just going to show you some like cool stuff today. get you up to speed with some of the basics. If you want to check out more, I've got a bunch of free resources for you and training and my website and YouTube. I'm doing a lot of stuff there, so follow along if you want to. I'll pull this back up at the end too, but if you want to grab it right now. All right, I'll wait till your phones kind of go down. All right. Cool. So you already know what's coming up. We got some cool stuff today. This stuff sound pretty cool to you guys? Business owners here, marketers, designers. What do we got in the house? Let's say business owners. All right, wow, almost all of you. Like branding, marketing experts, designers, kind of the rest. Okay, maybe a little bit of both. Cool. So any of you guys using ChatGPT for image generation, design, all that cool stuff? Yeah, most of you. I think most people now have figured it out. Today, I'll show you some of the stuff that's been getting traction. I've been teaching design for like 10 years, and this AI stuff I've gotten into for the last, since 2021. I worked with a startup, an AI startup, way before ChatGPT came out, and I was doing a lot of education for them for 2 years before ChatGPT. So I was kind of ahead of the curve on that, specifically around helping entrepreneurs actually use this stuff, because right away I saw the value of what the writing could do, because I suck at writing. So I was doing design and branding for my clients, and I saw how the AI could start to write for you. So I got ahead of the curve on that, and then ended up working with one of the top AI startups at the time, and was able to ride that wave with a team of like 12 people. We got that company to over 10 million users in 2 years. And then ChatGPT came out and like pulled the rug out from every AI startup and just said, yeah, we're just gonna go straight to the consumer. And everyone started using that. But today I'm gonna do some live demo and show you a little bit of what I'm doing. If you have any questions, just raise your hand anytime if you wanna chime in. These meetups are fun because we can be more interactive, and I'm not gonna sit here and just like lecture the whole time. I've got some slides, but then I wanna get into just showing you some cool stuff. So my background, you've heard enough. I've been doing entrepreneurship for a long time. Built my first 6-figure business at age 23, 7-figure business at age 28. And over the years, I've built brands in many different spaces. So from software, physical products, online education, marketing services, I've tried pretty much everything. And yeah, you're up to speed on that. So real quick, before we get into the visual stuff, the reason this matters is your business is what you sell. This is the best way I can explain what your business, like what does brand even mean? Like what you sell and like how you sell it is kind of your business. But the reason why people buy from you really comes down to brand. And this is becoming more important than ever, because in the AI world, especially, when you're gonna see products and brands and businesses pop up like a million a day, probably pretty soon, when the AI is making its own brands and businesses, people are gonna like really be jaded, and they're gonna look for the credibility that you have built. And so the best thing you can do, honestly, is start to build that track record online to show that you are legit, that you're passionate about what you do. And just sharing content right now is the best way to do it, because you're really time-stamping your ideas, your journey, and people are gonna look at that and really care about that. And I think the best analogy is, if you go to like Whole Foods now and you buy a bag of chips, like on the back of all of them, have you noticed there's like some family photo and like our story of why we made these like chips or cookies? Like our son had a issue, so we like made this new recipe, and they care about the story and like the whole like meaning behind what you're doing, and they're gonna look for that. Like, why would they choose you over the next bag of chips? That's a way to think about it. So there's a lot that goes into that with your visual content. That's what I've specialized in, and it's been something I've relied on to make money, because I can make things look good where most people struggled with that, especially 10, 15 years ago when it was hard to make a website and like hard to make a good looking brand. So now that's not as big of a competitive advantage, because you can make stuff look good really quick. But there is still a huge problem. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, small business owners, and it's still like they have these ideas in their head of what they want their business to look like, and that process of getting there is really hard to do. It's still painful, even with all the cool Canva templates and AI tools. Like, it's still, I work with them, and I'm like, why is this still so hard? So I've been really obsessed with making this easier. And we're making some progress. I think the next couple years, it's just gonna get easier and easier, especially when you can really chat with AI like in real time to mold out the vision of your brand. It's still a little bit slow, but man, it's a lot more fun than it used to be. So you guys know about branding. Here's some quotes for you guys. Just the power of your brand It compounds over time. It's the best investment you can make, even not just on a personal brand, because that's going to be with you your whole life. So you might as well build your personal brand because the efforts compound over time. But when it comes to any product or business you want to sell, that's valuable as well. Another person I love following, Daniel Priestley. Anyone read this book, Key Person of Influence? Yeah, one of my favorite, actually nobody here. Okay, that's something you should definitely do because it's such a good book. And he's finally getting traction. Like I've been following him for years, but he's starting to hit it big online. So you'll see his face pop up more and more. Recently he was here. Yeah, he's doing the rounds right now. He's finally getting famous. That book is so good. He really breaks down like the way that you build your brand, your personal brand, but it applies to any kind of business you want to build. All right, so the question then becomes, this all sounds great, but how do I actually do it? There's a lot of different strategies out there and many books on how to build a brand. For me, this is a quick hack for you guys. Not gonna get into this too detailed today, but there's 3 main levers that will help you reach your financial goals a lot faster, because you can make a nice looking brand, but if you're not actually doing the things that make you money, then you're gonna burn out pretty quick. So to make money, there's 3 things you have to do: attract more leads, convert more sales, and deliver more value. And if you're gonna do anything with AI, these are the 3 things you wanna focus on. Now, when you actually go do that, there's a lot of detailed strategy. Like you get in the weeds pretty quick. These are the kind of things that we do for our clients. And again, I'm not gonna cover all this today, but pretty quickly you realize there's a lot of content to create. Yeah, question.
More of an ask. Long story short, small business owner, oh, you need to be on social media, you need to do LinkedIn, you need to do Substack. But those, like, they don't play well with AI. They don't play well, the SEO with those is a whole other matter. So when you talk in your talk, can you help us understand the lead gen with the AI tools in particular?
Yeah, so lead gen is more like, do people know you exist?
Right.
As far as directly pumping just random content into social media channels, that's not really gonna work. So it's more like the strategy, like how can you leverage, there's many ways to get into like, how can you actually use AI to help you? There's 3 ways to get more leads. You can build your own following. So like all the content creation, all the marketing, that just takes time, but AI can definitely help you with getting ideas out of your head pretty quick, making it look more presentable. That's just a process. The other 2 ways are borrowing audiences. So you don't have to have your own audience. You can go find people who already do. Like me being here today, that's like, cool, I'm borrowing your Meetup group, right? So that's one strategy. You can go speak locally. You can partner with like software companies that you use and maybe get featured. I've done that in my career where I like get featured as a top user of a product that I love, and now they recommend me to their audience. So different ways to get leads, but the strategy there would be, well, how can AI can help you research those opportunities and then write the message to like reach out to them, right? So the 3rd way is buying. And if you're gonna pay for ads, AI can help you with the whole strategy, messaging, the whole angle. So yeah, AI can just, everything, it makes everything easier, but knowing the strategy, if you want more on that, I just did a video on YouTube going a little bit more in detail, but this is more high level. But the same thing with converting sales and then delivering more value is actually where I'm spending a lot of my energy, because I think it's a challenging time with selling stuff. There's a lot more competition. More people around the world are online now. So there's kind of a race to the bottom with services, and like you can get stuff done really cheap. Now with AI, it's almost like everything's just instant. So people like Alex Hormozy have the value equation where you have to stack and stack more value to make your offers more appealing. I think for me, the number one thing you can do right there is try to integrate AI into whatever you're selling, or at least use it to add more value to your current offerings. So like for me, I'm not just like with my education business, I teach stuff, but I also build AI prompts and tools to help the student or the customer get the results faster without having to sit there and like learn all day. So it's like, can you use that to your advantage rather than letting the competition or other people come in and use AI and deliver a better experience? That's like, so that's where really AI right now, these are the 3 things that are gonna make you money with AI. Just so we're clear before we get into like cool design. But design, does help. So a design strategy will help you do all this stuff faster, which I'm going to talk about today because, again, these ideas sound great when you sit down to go do it. There's that block of like, okay, how do I get this out of my head and make it real? That's where the visual design systems are going to save you a lot of time. All right. So everyone's like, cool, I'll just use AI to do all that. Sounds great. And then you like see all the videos, and it's either going to be a shock face emoji or a mind-blowing emoji, like, or the hype is just insane on all this AI stuff. And I'm just so tired of it because like when you actually get into the weeds, this is a screenshot of like one of the cool. I love this guy. He does like the Startup Ideas podcast. Any of you seen that one? Yeah, he's awesome. But like I watch these things and like this is a guy who's blowing up on like my design tricks. So they're like, yeah, let's actually do it on the video. And they're trying to get ChatGPT to like one shot. By one shot, you just mean like tell it what you want and then have it try to create the entire graphic in one go. And they're like, okay, but you get this kind of like, okay, that's the emoji that you get. And the problem is the AI is pretty good. It can get you pretty close, but a lot of the images and things you create are kind of just off. So it's not quite there. The layouts are kind of weird. The text isn't quite usable. It's getting better. Well, it's getting much better. So pretty soon, yeah, it'll probably be able to do it. The vibe is like kind of right, but now you're like, well, I want to just move that, but you can't. So it's just almost not saving you time. Good for ideation. And that's where my solution I'm going to show you right now is using AI to more mock up the ideas, then have it generate individual layers. So this is where the magic, I think, of the new AI generation tools is they can do this stuff for you. You just have to do that last like 5–10%. So then I take out the layers and I drop it into something like whatever you use to create graphics. Really anything works, Canva, Google Slides. I use Google Slides, which I'm a real weirdo for that, but the stuff you can do is like mind-blowing. Like you want to see some design hacks, like the stuff I do in Google Slides is pretty cool. But this gives you more control. So you still want to have control and use the AI more like a VA or like a designer. Normally it would take a lot of back and forth and a lot of work to tell them like, okay, this is what I'm kind of thinking. Can you mock up some ideas for me? Can you give me the layers for that, the backgrounds, the colors, the imagery? They'll have to go do research and find this stuff and do the tedious design work. AI can just knock that out for you right now. And so this way I don't waste time reprompting, and I'm really using AI for creative, like as a creative assistant, not a finished product. So the way that looks is what I call your brand layers. And so there's a few layers that you need to make everything look really good. And this is where it gets really fun. I'll teach you a little bit today, but once you get the hang of this, like everything you make will look incredible. And if you can train the AI to think this way, now you're really cooking. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish with everything I'm building. So the layers are, first, it has to understand as much as it can about your business. So your ideal customer, some of your story, like try to teach it everything about your business. That's just first off for anything you do with AI, try to give it enough context. And if you can, just go grab stuff from other competitors or people you want to be like, copy their stuff and drop it in and be like, hey, it's kind of like this. So you don't have to make it all up from scratch. And just give it enough raw content to work with. Or you can even just chat with it for a while and be like, I'm thinking of this, give me 3 angles or 3 ideas. Have the AI come up with the content for you and then just copy and paste that. Next, fonts and colors. This is just basic design stuff. Then background images, which is something I don't think people talk about enough with design, but these little things in the corner, these are like cool watery effects and things, like you can really make your brand unique and make your stuff stand out. So background images that are on brand, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in the past with clients trying to get those assets together. Now AI can just do it immediately. Then stock photos. And not just stock photos, but in particular what AI can do is create these kind of cool visual stock photo type images that are getting really, really good. You'll want real photos, your own photo shoots, which AI can kind of do that. They're a little cheesy, but put your face on there. I don't do a lot of that yet, but I mean, it's getting good. But any of your actual real photos of you doing the things are gonna be more important than ever. So try to capture stuff of like speaking at events or like helping customers or like actually going out and doing the stuff you're trying to sell. Capturing those photos is gonna be key. AI can't do that for you yet, but the stock photo side of it to try to convey feelings and ideas, you can use AI to do that. And finally, accent elements. So all these like icons and symbols and shapes, anything you might want to do to spice up your graphics. So those are the layers you're looking at. And what I've done, this is kind of the big idea, and then we'll go and actually build some brands today. But this is the workflow. So I start with what I call a brand vibe report. And what that does is it just describes the feeling. So you can tell it like, I want my business to be, mowing lawns, whatever. The AI can help you like imagine how it should feel when you present that to your customers. You're not getting in the weeds of like the design elements yet, but just how the feeling of the brand should be. And that's where all that research of like looking at like any idea you want to launch, you can have the AI imagine how it should feel and how you should present it to be more effective and really resonate. Yeah. Yeah, I'll show you. We'll do it. So think in your mind right now, anything you want me to demo, and like any brands you want to like experiment with. So brand vibe, then you create imagery. So then you see like, what does the AI think that should look like? So you kind of understand more of, oh, now I see what the AI meant by like the way it described that. So that's the new thing with AI is it's really powerful to see what the AI is thinking. And then you get that more documented. So once you get on the right track, and this is like this can happen in like a few minutes now, instead of hours and endlessly thinking and researching, you can have AI come up with 5 different angles and visual concepts. Be like, oh, I like that one better. Now we can get that written out as brand guidelines.
Are you going to discuss how the client is involved with each of these steps?
Yeah, I mean, really, like I do this on the call with clients now. I'll show you some examples of what we create. We usually talk it out, like when I'm with a client, and I'll just kind of get an idea of their business, and then we can just pop it right into AI and really like generate images right there, and then be like, yeah, is this what you're thinking? Or I'll do it on my own and then just present them with some ideas. Yeah, and then once you're done with that, now it's like, I'll show you some examples. It's so much more fun to do this with clients now. Like the stuff that used to be so tedious, because it's in my head, but they can't see what I'm thinking. Now we can all get on the same page, and that can eliminate so much back and forth if you do it as a service. Yeah.
We can off track, but how do you make sure that you stay super relevant in that conversation? Or the person just doesn't go to AI directly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm selling all this, so like they can go do it. The people who work with me don't want to figure it out, but I give all this up to their team. They still come back to me because what I actually do is, like, I stay relevant by going to this stuff. So we try to speed up all the stuff that would normally I got paid for 10 years ago. Now I'm like, I have to take myself to the next level. So now we're building out funnels, systems. Like I spend my time on the sales pages, the emails, the whole, money making stuff versus these back end, 30 revisions of their logo or whatever. Like, that's just wasting everyone's time. So I've had to evolve constantly as a designer since like 2010 when I started. For better or worse, I don't know, but I think we all have to like think more like CEOs, like next level. You have to provide more, like again, providing more value is the key here. So how can you really solve their problems? Because these are no longer problems. But the execution side of it is where, you can do all this and give them so much and like they still don't know what to do with it. So there's always a next, I think we can do more now because like now we're like, okay, well, let's test this campaign. Let's try that campaign. Let's try this angle. Let's do ads over here. Let's go do outreach and get partners. And we can actually bring it to life versus thinking about it forever. So I'm glad that I can get past that stage and into the real stuff with clients. Anyway, what I do is now we bring all that together. We create like a foundation. We load that in to even just like a project on ChatGPT. You can make a custom GPT, load this in. We give them to our clients too. Here you go. Here's your bot. We call it their bot. We put their name on it, and they could use it. Their team can use it. We put more stuff in there, like information and like how they, there's other things we can add. But now purely on the visual side, having these 3 layers loaded in, the AI, at least, it's getting better. It's not perfect, but it can at least kind of understand what the brand looks like, and you can now use it to ask like, well, what kind of marketing graphics should we make? What should our website look like? This new idea we want to launch, give us some mock-ups for that. And at least it has a good foundation to start with. And that's how we use it now is like, these are, you can see it over there. It's taking the next level. You can have it mock up. What would a podcast look like for us? What would our like website, the background images? So I'll show you some more of that. So that's a big picture of my process as of right now. Next week, I don't know, it might be totally different, but that's a starting point. the best I can give you now. And really how we start to build it out is this. So going in that flow, we get the vibe, we get the visual mood boards. I usually make several just to see them. Written guidelines, graphic layers. Now we mock up what that could look like. And then we go and actually start creating stuff. So I have more of this if you need it. Obviously we're just going to scratch the surface today. More training here if you want to get into this further. That will take you to a page to get access to that. All right, and I've got some freebies, so I'll show you some of this right now. The 15-point thing, that's pretty fun. I could pull that up for you. And then I have a bunch of these examples that, let me just show you. Let's just get into like showing you stuff. All right, you can see that. Yeah, this is a real client. And this is my creative process. Like, I don't know, I'm just like making these and just coming up with ideas for me. And it might just be one little thing. So like, I'll see this one, I'm like, oh, I really like, let's see if I can, like this texture, right? So just one element of the mood board, I'm like, that looks cool. So you can take a screenshot of that, upload it into ChatGPT and say, hey, make that as an image. And now on the site, we use that like in the background here. So if we view the background, like there's the image that the AI made. So just bringing these textures, like you can't really see it very well, so ignore that. But every page now, we're using the images that I created with AI. So this top section up here, and again, the layouts and the overall look and feel, just getting inspiration from the AI. But this kind of image here, I had it make using that bot. Once you have that stuff loaded in, and like we'll show like a map of like what we're expanding into with a transparent background. So again, just having that foundation, the AI can make really on-brand graphics. And we also use it to make these cool mockups because they're a new franchise that's starting, so they don't have the locations yet. So we built out all these cool images. Let me just show you. This is now the creative process. Within like an hour, I can do all this. So imagining background textures, patterns, colors, and then how they could be brought together with different email marketing campaigns, what that could look like. So again, AI just made all these graphics for me. And we could run these by the client. At least for me, when I sit down to do stuff, I have a starting point. And then we got into even like, well, what should the email banners look like, right? So just imagining what that could look like. And I didn't edit any of these are just straight out of the AI. What could the website look like? So the brainstorming is almost instant now once you have those foundational layers. And then the fun thing is the imagery can get really wild. So just the like stock photo styles are really fun. So we went nuts with this just because I thought it was really fun. But having just a short description of the vibe for your brand, you can have the AI then like, hey, describe how our stock photos could look. And then I asked it, what kind of stock photos could we create? And it gave us all these wild ideas. I don't come up with ideas anymore. I'm just asking the AI, like, well, what would be really wild and interesting? So like, it can make anything for you. But they're really fun. And then, if we don't use them, whatever, it didn't cost anything. But we started to mock those up. I don't think I had the actual like Canva. We had our team then go in and grab these and start to make graphics and like campaigns based on some of these images. But just the wild like imagery that you can create, it's so cool. Like I think it's pretty epic. I don't know, it's just really, it fits the vibe that she wanted, which was unique. But then another one, this is a nonprofit, they had a logo, and then I pretty much just fed that in and started with that as a starting point and had it mock up based on what I knew about the brand. It actually came up with all these kind of messaging angles. So it's not just the visuals, it can weave in some messaging. And the magic that you can get from the AI, like the client was blown away because it really captured what he wanted it to feel like. They're doing this cool thing where they're like finding local heroes and then giving them weekend getaways. It's like a thank you from the local communities. It's a nonprofit. They do stuff with like Airbnbs, so they're teaming up with Airbnb hosts. Anyway, the whole thing is pretty cool. But how do you bring that to life? Well, AI could mock all this up really quick, and just ideas of the marketing campaigns, even slide deck presentations. Like that's hard to just visualize. What could our slide deck look like, right? You're hunting around at templates. But now when you actually sit down to piece it together, You have some visual inspiration. YouTube, like what could our YouTube channel look like? I think that's really fun to see ideas of what your YouTube thumbnails could be and then what kind of content would be interesting. And sure, it could write all that out, but when you see it now, that's the new level we're in. So we actually had these mock-ups, then when we actually sat down to create it, we had a starting point, and then boom, I was able to kind of bring it together with those, designs, and even that heart he really liked the heart that was in one of the mood boards. So I pulled that out as a layer and then kind of wove it all together. Go ahead.
You might have just answered the question, but how you, and maybe this is one of your class offerings, so just redirect me if you need to. But how do you extract the assets from the mood boards into the deliverables that you're creating?
Yeah, it's pretty much just talking to the AI. So let's just say we wanted this heart. Let's just download that. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. Let's see here. And then we could actually do some real stuff. All right. Oh, it's not. All right, let's just upload it.
But the answer is just use your prompt engineering, and you can make it happen.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we'll just try I like the heart icon in this graphic. Please make a standalone square icon of that heart in yellow with transparent background. That's pretty much it. I mean, anything you can come up with, it's able to do a lot of this now. So that's really the process, and that's a little tedious still. Getting all the layers. You can do the same thing with the background. Like I mentioned, you can take, what I do sometimes take screenshots of like individual pieces just so it knows exactly what I'm looking at. And I just show it that and say, hey, pull this out as a standalone image.
Does it also allow you to export print ready files, like say you need a vector or a PRN file for a specific printer that likes leaves and likes margins to a certain type and things like that? Like, can it take those parameters and actually?
Yeah, specific file types. I haven't messed with that too much because everything I do is like digital, but I've seen people say you can get SVGs and different file types, but I haven't successfully really messed with that too much. But someone said like it resisted doing that, and they're like, oh, but I gave you the file that way, so do it. I don't know. There's like hacks that they're able to get it out of it, I guess. I don't know. I would just try it, like it's really just try anything. So yeah, it's pretty accurate, right? Like there was the original, and then here's the icon that it made, transparent background. So those are the kind of layers we're looking at. Anything the client likes that I like, you can just grab it. And that's how we start to build out. I like to put them all in a folder where we have all this inspiration and ideas, and we're testing ideas. And now when I sit down to actually create stuff, I kind of have that like creative session where we just knock out a bunch of these layers that I need. Now when you go build it, you have it handy. So yeah, we do that for all the clients. Go ahead. Go for it.
Can you talk a little bit about the different GPT models? Like I know you were using 4.1.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the different AI models. Right now, 4.1 is supposed to be better. 4.0 or whatever is pretty good. It's changing all the time, so I wouldn't get too in the weeds. But it's more the image capabilities. So from what I've seen, some of the newer like reasoning models don't have the image generation available yet. So whatever models have the image generation, they're pretty good at it. I just try to have. Seems like the 4.1 is a little bit smarter, so I've been using that. But the 4.0 is really good too. I haven't seen a big difference in the image quality from either one of those. So I'm not sure if it's affecting the image generation side of it. Another question?
Yeah, I was just curious, in the examples that you gave, like, how much is the, I guess, client providing ideas for this, or is this kind of coming from you, or kind of just brainstorming while you're on the call?
Yeah, usually they usually have a lot to say. I mean, like this client, she wanted a mix of Tiffany blue and Barbie. So that was the like kind of inspiration. And you can see how that started to come together. Pretty cool. These kind of design ideas looked great. But it helps too if they don't have any ideas, what I'll do. So for example, like what we could say, who's got an idea they want to try out? You want to build a brand right now? Or a question? Oh yeah, let's hear it. Okay, how do you spell it?
DOODWSpace WOOOF.
Okay, like that?
It's a brand for doodles.
Okay.
We have products that help with like matting and tangled hair.
You want to come say it? We just have it like, we'll just talk it in so I don't have to type it with one hand.
What? Okay. What information?
Yeah, let's talk it out. So as much as you can give it about, what I'll do first is show you let's copy that. And here's an example of what like a brand vibe report looks like. So I'll just have it make one up so we can see. All right, so it tries to figure out the name, the founder energy, like what's your vibe. It'll come up with a one-line message if you don't have one. The transformation that you offer. You don't have to give it all this, but if you have it, it'll, or try to figure it out for you. The ideal client, any of the story, anything unique about the story behind it. It'll figure out the feeling. Yeah, let's just start with that. So just a few things about your vibe, the purpose, the transformation you offer. And I'll paste that in. All right.
All right. I have a brand called Doodwoof. It's for doodle owners. So golden doodle, Bernedoodle, anything mixed with a poodle. We have 2 products, a doodle detangler spray and a 5-in-1 dog shampoo. The problem we're solving is that doodles have very specific hair that gets matted and tangled easily. So these products are all natural, made from human-grade ingredients, and very clean. And the vibe of the brand is it's playful, but you want it to be like natural and organic. The target market is, the target customer is doodle owners who want to create the best life for their doodle.
It'll make something up. It'll be fun to see what it makes up about you. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. It put it together as one word, so that's probably a problem. What you could do is read through it and then talk as you read through it. So maybe if you want to like give it feedback as you read it. So just say like, I'm gonna give you some feedback on this.
Okay. So here's some feedback about this. I am a doodle owner and I don't brand myself as an expert. So I brand myself as a doodle, as just one of the customers. And I just partner with smart people to create good products. I love the fact that you captured that this is for people that really care about the ingredients they use for their dog. We're not trying to teach people this is a premium brand, and we're not trying to teach people who don't spend that much on their dog to buying these products. This is a decently established brand, but it still has the vibe of, it doesn't have the vibe of a huge brand, and that's part of the beauty of it. From the founder perspective, I do a lot of documenting the journey, and coming from like not having any experience to creating this brand. So there's some warmth and genuinity in this.
That should be pretty good feedback for it. So let that drop in. So that's a fun exercise is to kind of like, I do that with AI a lot, is just have it give me a first draft that may be off or kind of close, and then just literally talk it out as you're reading through it to give it feedback. Or if you feel like it's way off, be like, hey, we're not on the right track. Give me 3 different like angles for this brand vibe that I could review. So that's a good way to like just iterate. I'd probably say like it's 2 words, so when you get that right, let's just do, okay, perfect, but dude woof is 2 words. So I'm just gonna have it fix that. And we don't have to obsess over this. You can. I mean, yeah, it's probably pretty close with that feedback. And then we can see what it's kind of thinking. Oh, it did do. No, it's DOOD space WOOF. All right, then we'll see what it thinks it should look like. So you can sit back down. I think that was probably good. Good job. What was your name? Alina?
Alina.
Okay, thank you. So let's.
Is that custom GPT public?
This you could buy it. So yeah, it's for like paid, but you can do something similar on your own. But I don't like give this out for free necessarily. But it's like $97 right now. So the whole thing is 97. DOOD space WOOF, not all caps. Right? Not all caps? Yeah, okay. So we'll try to get that corrected. But yeah, if you wanted to do something similar, these are the kind of things you would look at. You could hack it a bit yourself just to get it to imagine how it should feel. And again, I do have a training that you can kind of walk through. I share some of these key points. So if you wanted to DIY it, like that's an option too. These tools are what I use in my own business. So I do sell access to these, but you can get pretty close on your own if you wanted to. All right, let's take that. Now I have a mood board generator that I can paste that in. The problem with ChatGPT is it is a little slow and only gives you 1. So I'm gonna do a hack here. And what I do for myself is I create prompts for everything. So everything in my business, I don't want it to think about it again. So I make like really crazy prompts like this that have all the instructions. And then I can just go in and it's over time, and those are just the visual ones. These are the newer ones, but the writing ones, like the last few years, like all these, pretty much anything you can think of, even like planning out YouTube content ideas, writing posts, writing like podcast scripts. I create like frameworks and teach it. So my prompts kind of like try to teach it as well as give it instructions. So I'm training it more my philosophy so that it has a combination of basic instructions, but then also the underlying philosophy of what I'm trying to accomplish. And yeah, so I do a lot, like all of these, like this is what we use in our business. Only a few of these we use over and over. Some of them were kind of one-off things or we don't use as often. Let's. You could do that. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to like reverse engineer and hack your prompt generation. There's a lot more tools coming out to help you write prompts like that. So you could follow that strategy. Here's the end result. Write a prompt that would help me get there. How good is it at that? I don't know. This one I've wrestled with a lot because I try to teach it the colors theory, like how I do, because I kind of know like a lot more of where I'm going with it. So I teach it all those nuance. So let's see what it came up with for Dude Wolf. So the fun thing is, you get an idea of what the AI thinks it should look like. A lot of times it plays it safe, so it'll be kind of the average of what every kind of brand like that would look like initially. I don't know how close this is to what you actually have. I'm curious.
So I primarily sell on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
80%. And we're just redoing our website because it sucks. But this is like all 3 of these, there's like a combo of our new. Like the colors are very similar in
Yeah.
vibe to what the new website is.
Wow. I mean, it knows. Like that's the crazy thing is the AI can do all that research of like what should it look like, which may be where you want to go, based on everything you said. That's a good because you gave it a lot of direction, so it's kind of trying to bring that to life. Sometimes you want to give it more creative license, so you can give it like really wild directions to see like less details would give you more creative ideas. But since you gave it a lot of good info, it's fun to see that it's kind of close to what you came up with. Pretty warm and like. You're using the lighter kind of tan. Wow. Look at that, right? So that's cool to see. I mean, I love it for ideas and seeing like, okay, I like that, a little bit of this, bring it together. And you can kind of get the AI to do some of that too. Like I like part of this, I like part of that, and start to, you never really, I'm not really trying to get at the perfect mood board necessarily. I use it for more ideation. And then you can take it from there. But it's pretty dang good though, like first try. Now, what's fun to think about is, like if we're back in this brand vibe report, like, okay, now let's go in a totally, completely different direction and go like really wacky with this brand and show me like a really completely opposite style of brand for this. And that's where I like to see, because you know, like, you don't really know until you see it. Like what I've seen some like, I had to come up with, so I play around this stuff and like, give me the most ridiculous, do I have, I could probably show you this. Wait, what is it? What is it coming up with? Okay, let's try this. All right, we got to see what it looks like. So I like, you guys use Sora at all? Anyone in here? Sora. If you haven't tried it, it's like part of ChatGPT. It's just their dedicated image generation. I'm doing like these stock photos for brands where, oh my gosh, like the stock photo creation's dope, but it just generates more images faster, so it's worth trying. All right, let's grab this again and run that through.
I have a question about your custom GPT.
Yeah.
Are the custom instructions on those GPTs as like lengthy and detailed as some of the prompts you showed?
Close. It has a limit of 8,000 characters. Yeah.
Many of those characters.
It's pretty much on point. I had to get AI to help me condense it down, but.
When and why would you create a GPT versus a traditional prompt?
Because I wanted to make it available for an affordable price. And giving away all my prompts is like, I'd make too much money with those, so I wanted more of like a tool that I could sell. So to make it accessible, like now I'm at like 97 price point for like this kind of like some of these tools I'm showing, just so I could get it in the hands of more people. But also, it's actually faster, so I use it sometimes, and like I'll give it to my team if they don't want to like go in and find my prompts. And especially for like the mood board, like the writing stuff, these tools are actually just as good, and it's just easier to drop into a pre-made GPT. The image gen, let's see how I did with this one. So this is what it came up with inside ChatGPT. Pretty similar. So yeah, it was all pretty similar to what we had there, but these look pretty nice, really premium design. Similar angles. But you,
That the ChatGPT is just searching the internet, could it already be looking at her new website, or is that a? Okay.
yeah, that's cool. I have seen some examples. I have seen examples with established brands where it does kind of, like weirdly, I don't know, because I tried in my Facebook group, I had everyone put in like their website or whatever. And I'm just like, I did hundreds of these for random businesses, like from the most ridiculous businesses, but they're really fun. Like I could just show you even too, like all these examples of kind of like stuff I've been testing. And so this is the process where I try to extract out not just that first version, but also can it do these other things like come up with stock photos and accent elements and the backgrounds. So this is one of those freebies that you can get. We're just seeing the inspiration and different examples of what it came up with. But it's similar to what I try to do in the Facebook group. And I have seen, it'll pick up some things that you're like, huh, I feel like it read their website or has seen things about their brand and it pulled out some elements. Even like skin tone and ethnicity, like the names are kind of generic, but it kind of matched that right. I'm like, how did it know? So it's interesting. I'm not sure. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, but just seeing the magic of it. All right, what do we got? Saved by the Bell. Look at. Oh my gosh. Pretty good, right? I mean, what's better? Like you can get crazy with your branding now. Yeah, so I just told it to be like completely opposite and totally ridiculous. What do we got there? The blue guy? Loof level god tier? What is going on? So I'm just mind blown by the creativity, right? Yeah. Not much. I mean, I like Leonardo AI for visual stuff. That's a, yeah, it's a fun one. I've tried a bunch of them. You know, I think the ones I use all the time now. I'm trying to keep it simple too. I try not to go down the rabbit hole. I've dabbled with a lot of the tools, but if it's not really saving me time, I'm just going back to the main. Like honestly, like it's these main models that I'm really focused on because everything else, having been behind the scenes of trying to pull the APIs, I actually like so disappointed when ChatGPT came out, and we were using like the company we worked with like was funded, had like amazing developers and programmers and AI experts for like 2 years building all these custom layers and doing all these things. And then ChatGPT came out and was better than, you know, you could put all the marketing fluff on it, but like these API wrapper AI sites, to me, I was very jaded by that. So I'm just like going straight to the source. These main models from Google, from Anthropic, Claude, and then ChatGPT stuff. Yeah.
So I have a question. Actually, I originally discovered you probably on your larger YouTube.
Oh, cool.
The image hack.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like dived into that.
Oh, nice.
So much because I got so much value from it. And like now I'm seeing that a lot of these AI tools are actually like implementing different solutions for connections. Also now ChatGPT has MCP, which allows you to be able to connect like your Google Drive or like your Notion to be able to essentially like build your own brand out. And I'm just wondering how you kind of systemize like your prompts and like your actual like written content in order to actually start to create some of these images. Because I've used and like studied that YouTube video to actually start to build like mood boards and build different visualizations for my brand. And I'm just wondering now, like with some of these like different AI tools and different image generators, because I've done kind of these same processes in Midjourney with different images,
Yeah.
and it's worked very well, but not necessarily for like text, but for background images
Yeah, yeah.
for different concepts. So I'm just wondering how that um, how that kind of worked for other different types of generative AI models, like for even for like VO3, I've tried to do
Yeah.
something similar, but I have no web design like background. I think that's kind of where your core value proposition lies for like being able to really build out a brand and help somebody who doesn't necessarily have a creative vision in their mind. How do you help somebody like who may have a general idea of their field? How do you help them really extrapolate those ideas and really create that written content to create really good
Yeah.
brand visualization?
Yeah, I think the flexibility is kind of what you're saying of taking this idea and using it in other tools. Is that what you're looking for? I don't have so many hours in the day, so I'm trying to optimize more within Sora and ChatGPT right now. But the other ones, I mean, having those documents written and just stored somewhere, you don't want too many documents. So for most clients, we just create a Google folder, put a bunch of like text documents in there, and now we're doing these like image folders where I can just have them all in one place, and if I need to, just pull them out and upload them somewhere else if that platform can analyze it. So I am thinking in terms of maybe it won't be ChatGPT that's the best next year, and I need to move all this over to some other tool. I don't know. It's very experimental, but is that what you're looking for? Like, just.
And I'm also wondering because now like you can sync like your Google Drive. So let's say you have
Oh, automatically. Yeah, yeah.
a file that has all of these core images that you may have taken from
Yeah, yeah.
you can give that to ChatGPT and say, hey, I want to create something similar. This is my moon board that I've created.
Yeah, yeah. Being organized and like automatically like having access to, I haven't seen a lot of good results with that yet, but it's kind of, there's some new updates I've seen that I haven't tested enough. From early testing, I just found uploading it directly or using projects was really effective. Just to like upload it in there and have it just so it can kind of, but even having it in a project, it's still kind of like lazy And I have to keep reminding it to like, no, look at the stuff in the project files. So if they can't even figure it out within the project I'm working in on ChatGPT, I'm not that confident that it's going to be really good at analyzing your Google folder for like the latest thing that you uploaded. So it's going to get there though. Like that's the way you should be thinking, is how to get organized and then have it dynamically. I can't even believe how hard it is with custom GPTs to have it pull from dynamic content. That's a nightmare that I've tried to hack so many times. But for now, I'm just keeping it like, at least if you have it handy, you can just upload it right in and you can generate stuff like this pretty quickly. Yeah.
So you talked about the tools you use. So when do you use Claude and Canva?
Yeah, Claude. I'm using it mostly for writing right now. The recent model update, it's more dependent on, is the model good? Is it getting me good results? The new 4 Sonnet or Opus has been better, so I'm using that more.
Mostly for, the writing aspect. That's why.
Yeah. They don't really do image gen that I like. They can kind of do some image stuff, but it's not very good.
But it just make it sound like the new Claude, it's got the MCP, and it's all that.
Yeah, they're always. It's going to be like weekly. We're going to be like, again, the mind blown shock emojis every week. Like, I just can't even. There's these underlying just philosophies. I think the key is just figuring out, and this is where everyone is. So you're in this room, you're all cutting edge. The challenge, every business, every industry, the opportunity right now is no one really knows how to leverage this stuff effectively. So if you can just find a way to do it manually right now. If you can do it direct in ChatGPT, then you're on the right track. So my mindset is, can I get this to do what I want to do within ChatGPT or Claude or whatever tool? And then if you get something that really gets traction and is making you some money, or at least use it to make more money now or speed up your workflow and provide more value, later you could probably just have AI turn that into software, turn it into some kind of automated system. That's where my mind is. If I can get all this documented, get my process in place pretty soon, and already people are doing this with AI, just have it make software for you that becomes a product or you can just use internally. Anyone like trying to do that kind of stuff? Yeah. Are they right now? That's like where it's at. I waste too much time there. I've always partnered with programmers in the past. Like I've done basic web design code, but like when it gets in the weeds, I'm gonna focus on my strength right now. And I think that's the key, is if you have a real expertise, find a way to get more, like train the AI on your expertise, get it to do stuff for you, and then we can all become software builders pretty soon. Yeah.
Do you have a recommendation for a no-code website builder for simple, like 1 to 3 page sites?
Yeah, have you seen Gamma?
Yeah.
Gamma's pretty cool for like really basic stuff. What else? Like basic site. What's the purpose? Just like brochure kind of stuff, or like landing page?
Yeah, just like a 1-page sales page, basically.
Yeah. Gamma's awesome. I love using Gamma for like, it's similar in that you can just mock up something, at least see what it could look like pretty quick. Other tools, I use Podia for my website, which is pretty awesome. It's just a like all-in-one kind of platform for what I do. Otherwise, what do you guys use? Any V0?
That builds apps, but also websites.
Okay.
Really shockingly good.
Yeah, V0. How do you spell it?
I use the letter
Just
V.
V0.
Yeah, that is good.
You can go to ChatGPT. What I've been doing, it's worked really well. Go to ChatGPT 03 and ask it to create the prompt for you first.
Mm,
Then take that prompt and put it in V0.
nice.
Instead of asking V0 directly, because ChatGPT 03
It's better,
is
yeah.
a killer prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovable and also durable are two
Yeah, it's
Those all
so many,
work.
yeah.
I've tried all those, but V0 is like the best.
Yeah, and everyone's got their favorite, so it's like, I've seen people love Framer, they love whatever. It's just, sometimes just, like, to me, the speed to actually getting something done without having to tinker too much, Gamma is pretty awesome for that. And you can kind of prompt Gamma to be like, make this a web page, high converting, like, with buttons and call to action, and it just, I could try it, like, you want to build one? Let's just do a create new, like 2 minutes. All right. We'll make a website in 1 minute then. Let's see. Do I have any info about that? Let's do the crazy. I think I got everything else that I wanted to show. I mean, there's so much more I could show, but let me see if there's anything else on this. No, we got pretty much all of it. It's fun times, though. Was this pretty cool for you guys today? Cool stuff? Yeah, I'm finally getting some traction on YouTube with all this stuff. I need to share more. Like, I've been doing it for years and didn't share anything. So that's my other advice is like, everything gets easier if you start building your brand and sharing what you're doing. I'm up to 12K. I was at like 2 a few months ago, yeah. Was there a question? Yeah, ChatGPT helps either that or Claude for like the YouTube descriptions and writing the blog articles from. My thing is like, we do this with our clients too, is like YouTube first. I just think that's the best way to go because you get so much more traction on YouTube long term. And then you can turn that into blogs and social media and everything else and newsletters. Yeah, check it out because it's converting really well. Like, yeah. Lead gen on YouTube is insane. Like, if you, I haven't done YouTube, no, just pure organic. Mind blowing, yeah. Like, did not think that was possible. Let's do, I guess it has these built in, so it's not gonna make the design, but I wanted a wild design. Let's just have it generate something. Any other questions? Yeah.
So some of your secret sauce seems to be the iterative process you're doing with clients with the way the brand builder can kind of walk them through it so they're more engaged in it. Although some people may not want that. They just want it done maybe.
Yeah.
But it seems like as everything's going towards automation, you're kind of adding that value add of the secret sauce, so what I'm calling the iterative process. But I'm wondering if you're finding any kind of applications for agentic AI, things like Manus or other things that kind of layer systems and processes together, maybe for your lead gen or other things.
Yeah, the agentic stuff, that's where my mind is thinking that way. I'm not spending too much time on it right now, but everything I'm building is, I'm documenting my whole process, getting the prompts. So I'm thinking of it modular, like, so every piece, doing one step at a time. And you kind of see how I do it, like my mind is going that way. Pretty soon I can just have AI analyze all that. So I try to record everything I'm doing. And with a client too, like the client meetings are so much more fun because we spend our time talking and I'm just recording everything. So everything we do is recorded, feed that into the AI, and now it can just help us extract out all the gold and what we need. So yeah, it's so much, the workflow with clients is so much more fun, but I've had to like keep adding more to what we do, or at least getting better and then systematizing things. And then really it comes down to, again, anyone can make a flashy web page and like have great sales copy now. It's gonna come down to your actual track record and credibility and showing that you actually helped people solve problems. So I think where everyone's brand, whatever you're selling, you need to have that wall of like customer success, the customer transformation, whatever you're selling. Think in terms of that, just one page on my site that shows all the people I've helped, what we did for them, the results we got. Because people are gonna start, they're so jaded by all these fancy websites. They wanna see, are you legit? And so think about that for your brand, like how can I showcase that? Everything else is just to get them there. But back in those 3 things, to actually sell stuff now, you can do all the AI to get the audience, to get the eyeballs, you can dance around, but they're not gonna buy unless you actually are legit and you can position yourself the right way. So there's a website for you. I mean, this is goofy, but you can actually prompt it to like, put in some like, buttons and call to action, and I've seen some cool stuff with Gamma. Yeah. We gotta, yeah. Yeah, we can wrap it up there and just hang out. If you guys want more, again, check it out. Cool. So everyone, make your way out the doors. Thanks, guys.